Welcome back to Game Set Bet. I'm Sarah Pararia, joined once again by Crina Mustafa, and we are jumping right into it again with ATV on a very serious note, actually, again involving Kyrgios. I feel like we talk about him every day at this point, but this controversial kind of topic is very serious. And there's been a domestic assault charge against Kyrgios. This happened actually last summer, in the summer of 2021, but the court date was set. And now, next month, he will be going to court to either plead innocent or guilty. Obviously, we don't know what happened. And I don't want to go into this, assuming anything. But he's playing in a Grand Slam right now. He already has so much controversy around him. And now this comes out. What do you think's going through his head?
Oh God, I don't even know, because even a couple of months ago, he was saying how he went through a period of like mental turmoil last year, and I'm wondering if it was tied to this somehow. It's a very odd situation. The ATP has a very bad history with dealing with these kinds of situations, because in a normal world, you would suspend the player until the trial is over, until something is reached. But in this case, and we've seen it with Alex Zverev as well, players are just allowed to continue playing, whether it's during an investigation, after these allegations, like anything going on. It just seems like nobody really cares about the fact that this is a very serious situation.
100%. And I'm just connecting it to soccer, obviously a sport I know well, but I'm thinking of a couple players that have had similar instances happen to them. And they were actually suspended. They were, let go during the investigation because, it obviously looks really bad. And I think the teams kind of, stand united with that. We don't, support this or tolerate this at all. And I am surprised with the way Wimbledon is such a very fancy, tournament, I guess, to say that they're not even trying to deal, like, they don't want any of the drama anyways, it seems.
They don't want drama, but they keep searching for it.
Yeah, and then something like this happens. I find it really interesting as well, and it also kind of goes to show, like, I don't know, maybe in the world of tennis, like, they need to take a step and,
It's weird because the ATP, because tennis is an individual sport, the ATP doesn't really have a domestic abuse policy or anything like that. So that's why it gets a little murky sometimes with the way they handle things. But I'm with you, and like something needs to be done to suspend these players, like whether they're innocent or guilty. When something like this comes up, like it just seems weird to me. Like imagine your teacher was like accused of domestic violence and they were allowed to keep teaching. Like that wouldn't happen in a regular job, if that makes sense. So it's just, this whole situation is very weird and very, upsetting. And like we know, like we said, we don't want to assume, but we know how his behavior is on the court. So
the thing is, it's just his behavior. The last couple of days we've been talking about it here with you guys, and it seems like every day there's just more and more and more. And I even saw the press conference he had where one of the, journalists was asking him why he wore the red Jordans and his red hat. And he was like, I don't care. I wear what I want. And he was like, well, the dress code at Wimbledon is to wear all white. Like, do the rules not apply to you? And he was like, well, I don't care. And he was just being so dismissive to this reporter and very rude. And like, we don't agree with the Wimbledon dress code, but it's the way he goes about things where it's like, you just don't come off like likable almost. I don't know. Maybe that's just my opinion, but the drama with Kyrgios has been ongoing, and we'll obviously keep you posted if anything else comes up. But jumping into some of the matches, we saw Rafa went through in 3 straight sets, and now he is heading into the quarterfinals. I am so happy with his form at his age on grass. Do you think Rafa has a chance to go all the way to the final?
I think he does. I think, he's probably looking at this, Taylor Fritz again. Like, they just saw each other in Indian Wells, and Fritz actually took their last meeting. So he's probably not too thrilled about this next matchup. I think it's going to be a lot harder, even though Rafa is always going to be heavily favored. But it is on grass, so I'm not sure how that's going to go with Fritz as his opponent. But Fritz has won every match so far pretty easily. He's going on a deep run at another Grand Slam this year. He's done really well. And so I don't know. I think I'll still side with Rafa on this one. I won't be like bold or anything, and I don't think he's going to get upset or anything like that.
I will say Fritz also, like, his opponents, not to take away from anyone, but he hasn't been playing like the top tier players. So I think he had we noticed this in Roland Garros, but some players had a much easier path to either the quarters, semis, or the finals. And I feel like Fritz is one of those players where he's had a little bit of an easier route.
Yeah, maybe he's more rested too now.
Yeah, that's very true. And then we also have Kyrgios taking on the Chilean Garin. And we have Kyrgios winning this, regardless of everything that's happening.
Yeah.
I wonder if some of this controversy and all this talk actually fuels him as a player.
Maybe, probably. It feels like he would. He gets fueled by everything. The littlest thing, he uses it to his advantage, I guess, or disadvantage sometimes, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, he's kind of on a roll right now. And even though the last match with Garin was actually pretty impressive, I don't know. It's just, I don't think it's enough. I think Kyrgios is going to try to go as deep as possible at Wimbledon.
Absolutely, especially just to kind of say, "I told you so," And finally, we just want to update you guys. We just finished watching the Djokovic and Sinner match, and what a match that was.
Yeah.
Sinner up 2 sets just to get destroyed by Djokovic in the last 3. So Djokovic is heading to the semifinals once again at Wimbledon. It's almost like I've heard this story time and time again. You know what? Even when I saw Sinner up 2 sets, I still wasn't confident.
Felt a little nervous.
He is the player, he is the tennis player that if he's down, he is the one to come back. This never stops him. This never changes the way he played. He's so confident and he's so skillful.
Yeah, I always come back to Wimbledon 2019 because that's what he did against Roger Federer. It was a very grueling 5-setter. Roger Federer had 2 or 3 championship points, and Novak's going to Novak, especially at Wimbledon. And so he did that against Jannik Sinner, who also kind of rolled his ankle there in the 4th set. So it seemed like he was okay afterwards. But yeah, that was just a Djokovic masterclass after those first 2 sets. I was very upset. I was like, oh my God, I was rooting for the young Italian. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. But then, not quite.
Well, we will see and keep you updated on who Djokovic will be facing in the semifinals.